style. Yes, we are talking here about how we can identify our learning style, but not just to make our life easier when we do learn and integrate material and information, but also to ease our way we do our meditation and find out how our learning style can influence the way we do our meditation, and specifically mindful meditation or meaningful meditation. So, as we can easily do today, is summarizing our learning style. As we went the last two sessions, speaking and explaining what the learning style were. So let me give you a short summary of how humans have the ability to identify their learning style and improve and ease how they can process and integrate information and learn at school or anywhere they want to learn, they need to learn. Sometime at work, we need to learn as well. So by identifying your learning style, you give yourself the opportunity to always use that preferred learning style so that you integrate and process and retain the information faster. So here we have our visual learner. The visual learner will want to use visual aids to learn. So, referring to chart, design, and graphic makes them learn faster, integrate, process, and retain the information faster. We have the auditory learner style, and this affects the auditive perception style. So this person will prefer to go for a lecture, to participate in a group discussion, to hear whatever material that he needs to learn. Then we have the reading and writing learning style. So that person will prefer to have written aids. It will prefer to read a book talking about what needs to be learned. It would prefer having a visual aid that is in a form of writing instead of a form of charts, graphics, or design. That's how they return the information. So we have also the kinesthetic learning style, where this individual prefer the hand-on ability of learning. So it will prefer to manipulate the object, to learn, to touch, to play with it, even to, I would say, to handle it in a group where everybody builds something. It is hand-on, where if they do not have the physical form, like if I'm building a cabinet, for example, and I'm learning something that is quite a concept, an aspect of information that cannot be manipulated in our hand, then those individuals will be participating in discussion, handling their kinesthetic style via all the other style. So by being a participation in a discussion, by listening to what other people say, by expressing themselves about the subject, and by also having visual aid, even written or in a form of graphic design, that's how they will activate the integration in a kinesthetic style when the information that we need to learn is not physical handling. I mean, you cannot handle physically. Sorry, my French gets in the way sometimes. So if we cannot handle the the aspect of the material that we need to learn, like I'm saying, building a fence, constructing something. This is easy to do in a kinesthetic way, but we have concepts in life like grammar or many other concepts that it's very hard to create a physical object to learn that. So when we are teaching to those kinesthetic learner, we have an easier time when we will use all the other three learning styles: visual, auditory, reading, and writing style. Mix all of those and bring it to a kinesthetic learning style, and they will enjoy it and process the information and retain it faster. Now, I was telling you all of those because I wanted to point out to you that by learning what is our primary learning style, it gives us a little bit easier way to do our meaningful and meaningful meditation. It even is how we will work on developing a sensory approach, our sensorial. When we do meditation and we want to truly communicate with our inner self. So, by knowing our learning style, we are able to tap on an easier approach to meditation. So, you are a visual learner, that is your primary learning style. You will be aided by using image, graphic, any physical or visual support before you do your meditation. So you want to do a meaningful meditation or meaningful meditation on a specific aspect of your life, on a specific subject. Try to, just before you set yourself for the meditation, try to take 15-20 minutes of your time using visual aid to remind you, to show you what you want to see or what you want you're working on. Use the visual aid to provoke, when you are in your meditation, those visual image that you will want to look and develop on, of course. When you are within your mindful meditation, you will also find out, if you are a visual learner, that it is more likely the first thing that will work well with you. When you are in your mindful meditation, the first sensorial system that will be activated is more than likely the visualization. You will more than likely be able to see what I call this little screen or television frame where you see image. And please, just enjoy it. It's a beautiful way to work with our sensory system. It's very pleasant, and it helps us confirm that it is true and it is working for real, and that It's not something that just a few people can do, but it is a part of us. And each one of us can do it. Of course, some have a little bit harder time to achieve it, and it takes longer for some, but we can all do it. And when it is challenging, well, maybe we do use our learning style to increase the speed at what when we will experience those type of meditation. Then I'm saying to you, our auditory style, learning style, will influence in our meditation our auditive sense, our auditory sense, sorry. And it is, again, what will more than likely be your first experience with your sensory system. It's more than likely is an auditory experience that you will experience during your mindful meditation. And if you want to aid yourself with that, before you do on your own, because it is more effective to do those meditation on our own instead of having a guided meditation. A guided meditation is used, of course, to show us how to do a self meditation, like self-hypnosis. You will listen to somebody else's hypnosis, like, well, Steve G. John, which has beautiful material and a wonderful voice to listen to do those experiences. So you listen to his auditory audio recording, and after you do it on your own, following the path and the way he explained or guided you into it. So by using those auditory help, music that is very soothing, a nice voice, a voice that you like, of course, it's more effective that you do your hypnosis or guided meditation with a person with whom you love the voice. It does help. So it is more than likely that first sensory system that's going to be awakening when you work on your sensory approach. Now, when you are a reader and a writer learning style, or writing, sorry, learning style, you will benefit more than likely by writing in a book or journal your meditation experience. And also, you will aid yourself by reading books that talks about how do we do our a meaningful meditation or a mindful meditation, or if you are working or your sensory approach, how you do work on developing your sensory approach. And then again, if you are a kinesthetic learner, you may be better at doing mindful meditation and meaningful meditation, and even developing your sensory approach while you're doing some yoga, some tai chi, some kind of any physical activity that is soothing, of course. I don't think you should go to play hockey or baseball when you're trying to do your mindful meditation. But if you go for a long walk by the river, by the beach, wherever you feel great, then you come back home and you do a meditation. And you know what? I know some people that walking in an environment that is peaceful, like in the forest, where there's not too many people, That's exactly when they do their mindful meditation, because you don't need to have your eyes closed necessarily to be in a mindful meditation. It's to be within, it's to be in touch with your inner self. So we have a way where we can focus, as I've been saying all along, in the center of our head towards the back of our head, not in the frontal of our brain, but right in the back. That's when our unconscious or subconscious activity is happening. And that's where we go stimulate that part of our brain to awaken our sensory ability, to awaken mindful meditation and work with it. And for that, you don't need necessarily to have your eyes closed. Of course, if you want to develop the visual aspect, I will say have your eyes closed, because you will not have the visual development if you look outside the world. So it's in within our mind that we see those visual image that tells us what we want, right? What we're talking about, what question we're asking, of course. You need to ask question to receive a visual answer. You can simply ask, allow me to see the energy. If you want, if you are a beginner, don't go for the Mount Everest kind of experience. Shoot for something that is very easy and very simple, one step at a time, right? You will get further by doing just one step and then do the next step, and so on. And do your first step well. Make sure that you truly experience your first step. And your first step can very well be just asking to see within your meditation the energies that flows. We all are surrounded by energy. We have the aura, we have the energy. Everything in the nature has an energy. The tree has an energy, the flower, the river, the rock. So learn to observe those energy, learn to see those energy within your mindful meditation to start with. And that will be the first step, and it's a great step. The day you achieve it, then you can congratulate yourself and say, all right, I'm ready for the next step, and work your way up. Ask to see something that is a little bit more difficult to see, like ask to see a rose, or ask to see a crystal, or ask to see a tree, things like that. You know, you work your way up into being able to see more and more within the center of your head while your eyes are closed and you are in a deep, full, meaningful or meaningful meditation. And the same is for the auditory sense. If you are an auditory learner, ask to have that experience first. Ask to hear some music. Ask to hear the crystal sound that we hear when we are in a mindful and deep meditation. Because there are sound that we do not hear here on earth, that we can truly listen and hear them when we are developing our sensory approach, when we are in a mindful meditation. We just ask, and you will eventually get it. And of course, like I was saying, define or find out which learning style is your primary learning style, and then use it for you to go and do your first experimentation and experience what our sensory system can do. Experience this sensory approach so that once you have it the first time, you truly either hear, feel, or have the impression that you hold something in your hand, and yet there's nothing physically. There's nothing. But yeah, you can still have something in your hand. And then you see in the center of your head, you see the light, you see the energy, the color. You see that there is a rose right in front of your head, but physically it's not there. It is in the center of your head. It is your sensory system that is awakening and showing you what it can do. So work on that. And next week, we'll talk a little bit more about that. And I'll give you step and strategy and technique to get to that and succeed at finally awakening your sensory system, awakening a sensory approach so that you can live your life using a sensory approach. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week. In the meantime, if you want, of course, you can join this summit, Success Strategy, a Sensory Approach. And Dr. Steve G. Johns is in the summit, and our interview was delightful. You will learn exactly what I'm talking about our sensory approach and system. And he will tell you how our brain is different than an animal, even though we belong to the animal kingdom. Come and find out why and what defines us as being different than a tiger or a lion, even though we belong to the animal kingdom. Come, if you want, of course. You'll see the link below. And it's starting Monday, February 26th until March 1st. You'll have a lot of beautiful speakers and a lot of gifts. Bye for now.